say hi to everyone this morning. And I want to especially thank Zach and Nathan. Nathan has already been ready for a good word, 15 or 20 minutes. And for Danny helping me get this thing going. It is a good morning. And I want to talk this morning about a good path. All of us are literally on a good path, a God-ordained path. And I've used the word good to create an acronym for God, opportunities, opposition, and then do something. I first want to just share about the G in good. God has gifted all of us with abilities and talents, callings that we're particularly designed for by the Creator. Every person has something on the inside, and generally several somethings that they are gifted with, that they are so naturally good at that they don't even realize it's supernatural. Like the individual that can draw, they really believe anybody can draw or paint or play guitar or sing. And all of us who can't do any of those things realize not everybody can do that. But the people who do it and have a gift for it, a God-ordained gift on the inside, they're so good at it, and it comes so naturally, supernaturally actually, that they believe anybody can do it. It's interesting in Exodus 28, I think like verse 3, God gives an individual a ability to design and create clothes so that they could create the clothes for the tabernacle. In Exodus 31, verses 2 through 6, God gives an individual power and wisdom to be an artist, to work with metal and with wood, to even create designs. Now, all of us have heard about the pastoral gift and the teaching gift and apostolic and all those different things. But did you know you have a gift if you can make clothes? Did you know that being an administrator is a gift? The ability to teach is a gift. The ability to write is a gift. All individuals, every human on this planet has gifts and talents and abilities. It's so interesting to me. Paul says in Corinthians 4, he basically says, what do you have to brag about? What do you have that you weren't given? He was talking to the Corinthians, and they were boasting about this and about that. And he said, you got nothing to boast in. Everything you have is a gift. Everything that you're good at, it just beauty itself is a gift. And so all of us have been given by our Creator on the inside. And whether you believe in God or not, you still have gifts and talents. Now, I know God gave you those gifts, but whether you understand that or believe that is irrelevant to me at this point. What I want you to know is those things that you can do with your hands. If you can build a building, if you're a craftsman, that gift was given by God. If you can draw, if you can write, if you can sing, I would love to sing. I barely make a joyful noise unto the Lord. But if you can sing, that gift is a God-given gift, and you need to use it to bless others. So all of us have been given talents, abilities, strengths, as it were. Some people are just great encouragers, and you need to use that to encourage others. All of us need people in our lives who encourage us daily. And the Bible is very clear about encouraging one another in these things, to be an encouragement to individuals. And so all of us have things that we do that are naturally bent for us. They're from the intrinsically given, from the inside out. We're good at those. I was born to speak. I have a gift to speak. I didn't even know that was a gift. I used to get spankings for it. But I realize now that God gave me a voice, and I enjoy talking to people. I can talk to 1 or 10,000. It doesn't matter to me. I love talking to people. And I want to use that to bless others, to encourage others, to lift others up, to challenge people to take a new step, to cheer people on, for them to know there's somebody in their corner going, you can do this. and to believe for positive change. You've heard me enough. My goal in life is to challenge, change, and cheer, and I want to do that every time I speak. And then the first O in the acronym GOOD is for opportunities. God is giving every individual daily opportunities. I promise you today, if you have eyes to see, there will be anywhere from 1 to a dozen different opportunities for you to have impact on an individual's life. Now, this good path was taken from Matthew 25, the parable of the talents. And the Lord of his servants gave every one of his servants a gift. He gave them the possibilities to increase. He gave them from his goods, the scriptures teach. And every one of those servants, one he gave 5, one he gave 3, another one he gave 1. Every one of his servants were given opportunities to do something with what they were given. Now, here's the thing that I have found that I pray for most people is that they have eyes to see the opportunities set in front of them. Too often, even going to church, we're driving to church and we're driving by opportunities to have influence and impact, thinking influence and impact is at the church. Now, you can have impact at church, and I would encourage you to go to church and it not just be for you to get something, but for you to give something. You know, why do you go to church? Well, you go to church because you need something, but you go to church also because you have something to offer. And so we have to have eyes to see the opportunities that God has set in front of us. There are opportunities at Walmart, opportunities on the way to work. Some of those opportunities look like work. I've shared many times that I've had opportunities to just help somebody change a tire and then just be able to share with them the love of God for changing their tire. I didn't necessarily, share with them they needed to ask Christ into their heart. I just shared with them the love of God. And I remember changing one lady's tire and just telling her, hey, she wanted to pay me. And I said, no, thanks. I said, here's what you could do. The next time you're at church, just make sure to thank the Lord that somebody came by to help you. I found out later that her children came to Victory and she came home bragging that their pastor changed her tire. So there are just opportunities set before us every day. Jesus told his disciples, don't say, in John chapter 4, verse 35, he said, look unto the fields. They're white, all ready to harvest. He said, don't say it's yet 4 months and then comes the harvest. What he said was, look unto the fields and see they're already white, ready to harvest. In other words, if we think we have to wait, we'll sit down. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They wait till they're at church to make a difference. They wait till they're in a missions trip before they feel like they're supposed to do something for God. But every day, God sets before you opportunities to bless somebody, to encourage somebody, a coworker who's having trouble with one of their teenagers, a coworker who's having a problem in their marriage, a person that you go to church with, you find out their mom or their dad are sick and dying, and somebody needs to encourage them. I know. I just don't know what to say to somebody who's lost a loved one. Well, I've been doing this 40 years, and I don't either. I don't know what to say either. I just know if I go and I keep my heart right, God will tell me what to say, and God will show me how to be a blessing. And so what I just do is I just show up, and if they want me to speak, I speak. If they want me to be silent and just listen, I listen. And I have found people are more grateful that I just showed up than having some brilliant thing to say. So I just find opportunities because I have eyes to see. We have to be willing to overcome our fear of not saying the right thing, of not doing the right thing. If you mess up, fess up. But just choose to be a blessing. Choose to see the opportunities that are set before you. Today, if you're in Walmart, I've gone in Walmart so many times. I think Walmart owes me an office because I've been there so many times and ministered to even their workers, to people who are shopping at Walmart, because I have eyes to see. If you see some lady and her makeup is all running, she looks like Alice Cooper. For those of you that remember Alice Cooper, I think he's still singing. I eyeshadow had run, and she looked like, she had black tears running down her eyes. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this lady's been crying, and maybe she could use an encouraging word. So I just went over and asked her, look, I noticed that, you've been crying. Is there anything I can do for you? Is there something I can pray about? She just broke down and began to share with me her whole life. She didn't know I was a minister. She didn't know. All she knew was somebody stopped and was willing to give her the time of day. If you have eyes to see today, God will set in front of you people who are in desperate need of what you have. That's so interesting to me that God has given you so much that's on the inside of you, not just for you, but for you to share it with others. And so if you have any word in you, if you got saved yesterday, you have something more than the person who's not saved. Share what you know. You don't have to know everything. Just share what you do know. Yesterday I was lost. Today I'm found. Yesterday I didn't know God. Today I do. Today the grass is greener. The sky is bluer. My wife is prettier. All I know is I feel so good because I gave my heart to the Lord. So just share what you have. And then the other O in the word good is for opposition. Duh. I wish somebody would have told me when I first gave my heart to the Lord that the very next day there was going to be opposition to this new life I'd been given. If you do anything for God, if you desire to do anything to make a difference, you're going to receive opposition. That should be a common thing for us to understand, that anytime you make a stand for anything, anytime you believe the sky is blue, somebody's going to tell you, well, it's not really blue, it's a refraction of lights, and it's just somebody's going to find a way to oppose you. Because when you got saved, you entered a war zone. You didn't enter Disneyland. You entered a war zone. And so we're going to have opposition. Anytime, if you believe in hunting, there's going to be the vegetarian people who will not like you because you hunt. And if you choose to be a vegetarian, there'll be the hunters who oppose you because you're a vegetarian. It just doesn't matter. When I had long hair, and I used to have long hair, people opposed me. And then I had short hair and people opposed me. When I wore jeans, people opposed me. Then I wore slacks, people opposed me. I did disco and then I did rock and roll. And I just didn't there was always opposition. I just got used to it. The thing I'm looking at now is if I'm going to be opposed, if I'm going to have opposition, I just want to make sure it's worth it now. So I'm going to speak the truth. And if people oppose me for that, great. I'm just, at least I'm right. So you're going to have opposition. I don't know if you thought about this, but just getting out of bed today, you had opposition. Your flesh said, I don't want to get up. I'd like to sleep another 15 minutes. You have opposition just getting out of bed. There's opposition. Going to work, there's opposition. Everything you do today, there's an opposing force. Because you're a Christian, you're of the light. Darkness is going to oppose you. The Bible says that your spirit is willing to do the things of God, to follow God, to do what he asks you to do, to obey. It's your flesh this week. We all have opposition in our flesh. People don't want to talk to others about the Lord because they're afraid. That's your flesh. Your spirit wants to tell everybody what Jesus did for you. So there's God, there's opportunities, there's opposition, and then there's the D in good, which stands for doing something. Now, I don't want to give anybody a really hard time, but I do want to challenge some folks today. I'm not any better at it than anybody else. I'm just willing to do it afraid. And lots of times I am afraid, but I do it anyway because it's the right thing. If you want to make a difference, you have to do something. You have to be willing to get off your gluteus maximus and go make a difference. You don't need a 501c3. You don't need your own ministry. You don't need to be on Oprah. You don't need to write your own book. You don't need a microphone. You just need to show up and speak up where you are. You're 11, and God has placed you wherever you are placed today to make a difference. And so You need to be willing to do something today. If you see somebody crying, just go ask them, what's wrong? What can I do for you? Can I pray for you? If they say no, say, okay, just know my heart is with you. And then go to your little cubicle and pray for them anyway. If you want to make a difference, it's really important that you're willing to do something. The Bible is very clear that we need to be doers of the word and not hearers only. And I can see right now this camera that I'm using on my laptop isn't working as good as the camera I used last time. I will change that next time. My apologies. But we need to do something. So what I'm going to do is the next time I'm going to change the mic. I'm going to do something. In Bronnie Ware's book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, there's this statement made, and I've heard it other places. People don't regret what they tried and failed at. What they regret is what they didn't ever try, what they never were willing to do. And that's the truth. When we get to the end of our days, most of the things we will regret are not the things we said or did. It's the things we wanted to do but didn't. The things we wanted to try but let fear kept us from trying. We wanted to jump out of a plane. We wanted to go on a vacation, and we just never took the time to do those things. Those are the regrets that many people have. So let me just share this. I see people are making comments, and I'm very excited. Nathan's already amening me. Chaz has joined in. I'm excited. It's just so cool that people are willing to join and to share. And I hope you're sharing this with others, and will continue to share with others. I want to give you an opportunity here, and no pun intended. I want to give you an opportunity to realize how you can make a difference today. The simplicity of how you can make a difference. I want to ask you a question, because the right question changes everything. Who had influence in your life? Who's had positive influence in your life? Who's had negative influence in your life? You know, your mom and your dad, your grandparents, they were so afraid of the rock and roll stars or the movie stars having a negative influence on you. But when people are asked who had the greatest influence on them, it isn't the basketball stars, it isn't the baseball stars, it isn't the rock and roll stars that had the major influence in their life. They may have had some influence, but when asked, young people will say the people who have the most impact are their mom and their dad, their family, grandparents, brothers and sisters, things like that. And then there's coaches, teachers, counselors, those individuals, even neighbors. And when you press the issue, the reason those people had influence in their life is because they were willing to get involved. That is the power of impact and influence. The key to making a difference in someone's life is being willing to step into their world, being willing to put your arm around them in a time of need and say, I'm going to walk this out with you. I may not have all the answers. I may not have a boatload of money, but I care for you. And I'm willing to help walk this out with you. I'm willing to step into your world and do something as simple as teach somebody how to swing a baseball bat or throw a ball. I have a neighbor, young man, his name's Jacob, and I love Jacob. Jacob's in need, and I'm teaching Jacob how to shoot a bow, and he is just so excited. He came over the other day, and he just repeatedly told me, thank you for taking the time to show me how to shoot a bow. He wants to harvest a deer this year, and I want to do everything I can to help him do that. But the reason I have impact in Jacob's life is because I was willing to get involved. The reason I have impact in your life today is because I was willing to get involved and for this old dog to learn new tricks. And I'm going to continue to learn, like realizing I need to change cameras. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to get better at this. And I'm willing to get involved in people's lives, not because I want to be famous, but because I know the more people I can get involved in their lives, the more impact I can have. and I want to have positive impact. And so in having impact and influence is not about being on TV. It's not about having a newspaper article. It's not about any of those things. The ability to have influence, positive or negative, is just a willingness to be involved, to step out of your world for just a little bit of time and step into somebody else's world. And I know it's messy. I get that. I really do. But what you sow is what you reap. And if you want somebody to step into you and help you in your mess, then sow good seed. Be willing to help somebody out today. Be willing to give somebody a ride or buy them a meal, or maybe just give them an encouraging word. It has been so incredible to me over the years how many people I've been able to help from committing suicide, even from the simplicity of a phone call. Now, whether you believe God speaks to you or not, I believe God speaks to me. And when I'm praying or when I'm just going about my day, if somebody keeps coming to mind over and over and over again, I keep seeing their face or hearing their name and I can't get them out of my heart, I will just make a phone call and just ask, how are you doing today? I had you on my heart and I was just thinking about you. Is there anything I can do? And I cannot tell you, at least a half a dozen times in the 40 years I've been doing this, I have been able to help somebody from taking their life over that phone call, over just stopping by their house on their way home and saying, hey, is everything okay? It is so important that you and I see that the metaphors that God uses for us in the scriptures are all about influence, all about involvement. Let me just give you some ideas. He calls us light. He calls us salt. He calls us leaven or a witness. All those metaphors, all those things that he mentioned have to be involved to be effective. Light, it doesn't work unless you turn it on. Salt, it doesn't work unless you put it on your meal. I like a little meal with my salt. Sorry about that. It's how I am. But salt has to be applied before it can make a difference. Leaven will raise the whole loaf of bread, but it has to first be placed in the bread dough. You are placed at your workplace, in your family, in your sphere of influence. God has placed you there, not me. God has placed you there so you can make a difference. So we all have been given this good path where God gives us abilities and talents, callings, as it were. He gives us opportunities, daily opportunities to have impact and influence. And yes, there's opposition. And some of that opposition may be as simplistic as just fear. Fear is your opponent. Fear is an opposition. And all of us have to overcome fear. I know people think that the speakers on Sundays and the people that they're listening to on their iPhones and iPads and different things, that all those people are not, they don't have any fear when it comes to speaking. But I'm going to share something with you. I have butterflies in my stomach every time I speak, and those butterflies turn to dinosaurs just before I speak. But I know this is what I'm supposed to do. And the instant I start doing it, God gives me opportunity to make a difference. And so all of us have opportunities, oppositions, and then we need to do something. And the D stands for doing something. Do it afraid. Don't be afraid. We all have opportunities. Let's get out and make a difference today. Let's have impact and influence by our willingness to just be involved in the people who are around us today. And if you don't see opportunities, create one. Go ask somebody, hey, are you doing okay? Is there anything I can do for you today? And I promise you, if you'll make that effort, God will open up a door for you to be able to encourage somebody, to pray with somebody, to stand with somebody, to make a difference in your day. Let's go about the day and be on a good path that has good opportunities and good rewards. If you would, it would be my eternal gratefulness to say to you, thank you for sharing this with someone else. for liking it and getting other people to like this page. And please let people know. I know I'm going to get people who I didn't hear you today. I missed the opportunity to see that you were changing locations. Please let other people know that all my Facebook Live videos now are going to be on Lee Speaks Facebook page, and let them know, help them turn into this and be able to get the videos. I would be eternally grateful if you would do that, and I promise you the next time I will change cameras. Have a great day. Be blessed.